Here we go!
Get that last no-scope kill and hit pause. It's time for Neutral Gamers, the video game podcast where the Konami code is alive and well, the console wars don't exist, rings are just as valuable as coins, pots are not safe from swords, giant robots kick ass, and fireballs are a perfectly acceptable weapon in a fist fight. Hey, that's right, everyone. It's time for a brand new podcast here on Fanboy TV Radio called Neutral Gamers. Like, I want to clap and stuff. I think I have some people to clap over here. So, yeah, there's some clapping for us. I'm really excited to be doing this because this is something that we've been thinking about for a while, and Pocky D came up with the name for it, and I argued with him at first. We'll get it in a minute. So, I'm one of your friendly neighborhood gamers, Slayton. You can find me on Xbox Live primarily all the time because that's where I'm at. And I'm joined by one of my new gamer friends that I absolutely love. Introduce yourself to everybody.
What's up, everyone? My gamer tag is Henzar. You can find me on Xbox, Henzar, Henzzar, space 3366, or PSN, it's just Henzar, Henzzar. There you go. Gavin, that's the nicest thing you've ever fucking said to me, man.
I'm telling you, well,
that.
You know, when we're not in the TV studio and I'm not like being neurotic and stuff and have to worry about, you know, a million things not going right, then I can be a lot nicer than normal, you know?
That's the most fun, though. Watch you just lose your shit. It's beautiful.
So you haven't really seen me lose my shit fully. So, you know, it's funny. I almost
eagerly await the day.
I almost did an opening that introduced you as Cynic because that's how I know you. I forgot your gamer tag is something different.
That's a good plug, too. That's fine. That's right. It's been Henzar for a long time, and there's a long, drawn-out story for it. I know we kind of have our agenda, so
well, no. So can you briefly describe it? Because I'll tell you mine. My friends and I in San Diego, like I've had Slayton since Xbox launched alive, and it was because my friends and I put ourselves in our own made-up fan fiction of H.P. Lovecraft, and I was a cop called Slayton Rome, and I was hunting down Lovecraft creatures. So that's where the name Slayton comes from.
That's a very vigilante cop name, Slayton.
Yeah, Slayton Rome. Like it was pretty epic.
That is epic as hell.
Well, I told you mine. Tell me yours.
Well, it's much less epic. I used to work at GameStop, and
you poor
back
soul.
In the day, oh yes, it was so soul crushing with the. I'm sure you've heard stories about quotas, and you know every time they annoy you about something, it's because they have to, because they really want to get paid and don't want to not be asked to come back. So just be nice to the GameStop people. So anyway, I used to work at GameStop, and we were able to rent whatever games we want to. As long as we had more than 2, it was really cool. We could take whatever home. So my gamer tag, the score just blew up because I was just playing something every day I came home. And I would rent just action games, horror, fighting, lots of fighting, whatever I could get my hands on. And so I was kind of the action, fighting, violent games guy at GameStop.
It's nice to see nothing's changed.
Nothing has changed, but I'm above all, I just love a good video game. So to rib me when I first got there, they would call me by my middle name, Henry, and it would bug the shit out of me. So when it stopped, when it got just too common and I was desensitized to it, they started calling me Hen, and that shit was funny. But they started sticking for a little bit, but then it started to roll off my back, and so finally. One day, I think it was Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire came out, and I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, Pokemon, yeah!" Like I was hyped up for it, man. And they were like, "You of all people play Pokemon?" And I went, "Yeah, I grew up with that. It's the best. Love Pokemon." Like I was totally into it. So they said, they're like, "It finally makes sense. Your baby name is Hen. Your mid form is Henry, and your final form is Henzar." And I went,
okay,
yeah.
So that makes sense to me. I enjoyed that story greatly, because who doesn't like Pokemon?
Oh, love Pokemon, and just brutal violence wherever I can find it. So
I think it's
perfect mix.
un-American to not like Pokemon. Actually, like it's one of those things that I don't care who you are, everybody has a favorite Pokemon.
Seriously, I mean, it's going to be shoved down your throat one way or the other. So take it, like it, and who's your favorite? Do you happen to have a favorite?
Jigglypuff. In case you really had to ask that question.
I I had to, and I'm I'm not surprised.
I mean, have you not seen me wear my blue Jigglypuff hat?
You know, I might have, but I might just have been enjoying the look of just frantic, just what would you call it? Just
Organized
frantic
chaos.
chaos. Yes, that look on your face that says "Holy fuck" every day when we go into
Yeah,
Zombie Life TV.
so I know Cynic from Zombie Life TV is part of the Fanboy TV block party that we do on Thursdays, and I produce all those hours of programming, and so it gets really crazy, and so we keep running across each other. We make ourselves play games together. I was like, okay, we have to do this podcast. This idea has been sitting on the back burner in our Google Drive forever today, because we didn't know what to do with it, and I argued with Pocky the longest time. He was like, let's call it Neutral Gamers. I was like, but you guys aren't like, no, it used to be NPC headlines. I was like, but you guys aren't NPCs. And then he was like, let's do Neutral Gamers. Like, but you guys aren't really neutral to anything. You all have your loves. But then it just kind of dawned on me like last month, Neutral Gamers is perfect because it's everybody. So our logo is as many controllers making like this Frankenstein controller that, I mean, you'll see it on our pages, and so it's
Controller orgy. I'm down with that.
yeah, it's like 4 different controllers making this Frankenstein one, and it looks really cool. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and so I thought one of the things that we don't get to do very often is topical things because we pre-record things. Our live shows, we never know what's going to happen. We get topical on those, but I was like, video games, there's so much news every day. There's so many things to talk about. This has to be topical. So I finally got Hanzar to sit down and go, okay, let's do this at like 11 o'clock on Wednesday nights. I was like, we'll do it. And the best part is it's late at night. We could just be as dirty as we want to be, I guess is the word I want to put it.
Yeah, dirty is fine. Or if it's a slip of the tongue or whatever have you, yeah, it's perfect. And we get no sleep, and it's great. So yeah,
me on no sleep on Thursdays, getting ready for 3 hours of live TV is not a good idea.
Yeah, but you're doing it anyway, so it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, I know. So tomorrow you'll be like, yeah, I got to sleep. What did you do? I said, I got to get everything ready.
Well, see, I have my day off tomorrow, so you're gonna say, hey, what did you do? I'll say, play Injustice till I don't know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then got 3 hours of sleep, and then came to the studio.
So what this podcast is going to end up being is news stories, topics, and just, culture behind video games. So we came up with we're literally doing this by the seat of our pants today. We decided yesterday to do it, and our topics were today that we decided. So I had the theme song ready like months ago, and so I'm ready to go. So let's kick it off with this one because you told me about this today. I had completely forgotten about it. There's a Friday the 13th video game coming out on Friday.
Yes, it is. I am very, very hyped, man. I mean, all they keep putting out to promote this, they know exactly what their demographic is. So every time a trailer comes out for it, it's just Jason murdering the fuck out of people. Just there's just very little gameplay of him walking around and showing off the powers that he uses to find people. But every trailer that you see, like, hey, new trailer coming out today. Oh, this is the lady getting impaled with a spike. This is a person getting shot with an arrow. This is how he smashes a head in with a door. It's and it's nothing more, nothing less. So
I remember seeing stuff about this a long time ago, and it just kind of fell off my radar. And so today, after you told me, I was looking at all these videos, and I'm like, okay, so tell me, can you also be campers?
Oh yes.
So yes, this could be like
it's very multiplayer based. It looks like what Evolve kind of, I wouldn't say wanted to be. Evolve was okay without all the microtransactions and all the paywall bullshit. But it seems like they took the idea from Evolve, put you in the shoes of the best monster fucking ever, because I'm a huge Jason fan, and then the rest of you are victims. So
See, I think
it's
it'll be a lot of
totally
fun to play
multiplayer-based.
the survivors in this game because I love the idea of Evolve, but it failed miserably, and so I was afraid that
Yeah.
this was what was going to happen with this game.
Well, I'm really hoping it's not going to, and as long as like the Kane Hodder skins aren't going to be hidden behind $50 paywalls, I think we're going to be okay.
That was one of the
Um,
funny things I saw today. Is I watched a video about the different Jasons you can play and how they all play differently, and I just kept crossing my fingers, going, "For the love of God, let there be a Jason X skin because that would be the end all be all." Cyborg Jason.
there has to be a cyborg Jason. There no doubt there's gonna be a cyborg Jason. He's gonna carry around some night. What is it? He put that chick's face in it. What was it? I can't even think of the word for it.
Oh, I haven't watched it.
Liquid
I want to
nitrogen.
go watch
Liquid
the movie
ni-
right now.
If the word liquid nitrogen had rolled off my tongue, that may have been very close to being funny, but it's not happening. So, but yes, but yes, Jason X, I'm sure will be walking around with this pack of liquid nitrogen. He's going to stuff your face in it, shatter it, and that's all he's going to need. Like he's not going to need anything else.
They didn't announce that. I was like, how could you not do that when like they were talking about the Jason 2 was like the best one where he's got the from this part 2 with the cloth mask. And they were talking about the grip stats, the water stats. Like, Jason doesn't like water, right? Why would he be able to be better in water in one version over another? I mean, that's the whole thing behind Jason. Water is his enemy.
Well, yeah. I mean, Freddy versus Jason, he just can't handle it. But I mean, it's if the campers can go hide in water, why wouldn't it be a stat that you can add in there? I mean, that's kind of clever. I kind of like that actually. And maybe it's because the second one is where he first started murdering, and that's when the closest he was to his death. So maybe he becomes more afraid of it as he goes. Shit, I don't know. He always ends up in chains and water, and at the end anyway. So I don't know.
That's
but
like
I'm looking forward to it.
Thing. I completely forgot it was there, and so I'm kind of excited because if a lot of people get it, then it's going to have one of those robust communities. And I pray to God that they're smart and they make a DLC where there's also a Freddy running around in like the dream world trying to kill them while Jason's trying to kill in the real world, and just have this whole fucked up game going on.
Oh, there has to be like Freddy mode or something where instead of going through the camp, you go through the dream world, and not only do you have to run from Freddy, you have to run from Jason, or you have to find each other. And I don't know, that'd be a badass idea. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that would just make us too happy.
That's a dream project right there.
That's DLC. That's all that is.
And I was also happy to see that it's also going to be on consoles because, like I said, I don't play games on the PC. It's too many buttons for me. I like my controller. I've got a pretty good gaming computer setup right now, but I do it just for videos and After Effects and things. I don't do things. Everyone's all like, "Oh, PC Master Race." I'm like, I don't really get it. I like my console. Everything runs on it just fine. And I like the controller. It just maps everything out easily. And for me, I that's how I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I've always been a console guy. Aside from a few Star Wars games, like they had a Star Wars pack that had a bunch of demos on it, plus Rebel Assault or something years ago, and I think that was the last time I was considered a PC gamer. Maybe Age of Mythology, maybe. But that's the rest has been all console for me. So I'm very, very happy that this is coming to Xbox, PS4. What are you planning on getting it on?
Xbox. I mean, because that's all I have is an Xbox. I have a Switch, but I severely doubt it'll be a Switch game.
Well, it'd be great. I mean, you have the kind of the Wii Stick motion sensor that could be stabbing motion kind of deal. You could go in with that, but
things.
Yeah, I mean, they did that with Tenchu Stealth Assassins. They took that and made Shadow Assassins, and I want to say that it bombed straight to hell, and I haven't seen a Tenchu game since. So I do not want this game going to Wii or whatever, Nintendo Switch, lest it destroy the franchise entirely. So no, thank you.
Well, the other thing is like we discovered in our last gaming session, we were doing Mario Kart over here. The Joy-Cons are uncomfortably small. If you're playing with just a half of it and it's not like in a controller, your hands cramped on. So I had to buy holders for them that look like a PlayStation controller, so that your hands aren't cramped. Like even Jasmine, Jasmine, she's got some tiny ass hands. She was like, after 2 games, my hands are cramping. I can't do this. It's not made for grown adults to play.
Next time I see her tomorrow, I'm just gonna have to really creep on her. And I'm just checking your hands. I was told by Gavin.
She'll be like,
don't mind me.
She'll be like, that fucking Joy-Con, man. And like, she didn't believe me. She honestly, God didn't believe me. She's like, and look at the size of my tiny ass hands, and these things are hurting me. So I could definitely see trying to like stab things and choke things with these Joy-Cons, because literally it fits in the palm of your hand. So you would just be airing things. Anybody watching you would not know what the hell was going on. They think you had Tourette's or something.
Well, I'm hoping they bring back the whole GameCube compatibility controller. That would be nice. Is it compatible?
They want you to buy their $80 Pro controller, and that thing. I mean, the system comes with a little slide in. It's like it makes it like a square controller. That thing is comfortable as hell. Yeah. But when you got to play like Bomberman or these other games where you have to use half a Joy-Con, it ain't happening. Massive design flaws. So all those people in those commercials playing esports with that shit, they ain't really playing, because their hands would be cramping after 2 minutes.
They need that Bengay real fucking fast, man.
They're gonna need it real fast.
That's too fun.
Why are you so excited for this game? Besides the fact that it's Jason, one of your favorite people, and it's more of a horror version of Evolve.
Well, I'm excited for it. I mean, to be honest, I am a big Jason fan. That's a really big part of it. And the fact that it's one of the big, I can't remember the last time they put out a solo Jason game. The closest they have come to doing Jason justice is, of course, Mortal Kombat, my forte. Mortal Kombat X was, they had Jason released as DLC. Which actually they had a great horror movie lineup with Alien, Predator, Leatherface, and Jason. Jason was one of the strongest characters in the game. He's a fucking fantastic character. And he's all close up. He's not throwing fireballs at anybody. He's eating people's hits by using armor and getting close and doing crazy damage. So now you actually get to walk around, find the campers themselves, and they have to they kind of have an alien isolation thing going for them too, where you have to hold your breath and hide, and you have to save your breath meter. And I think the one thing I don't know is, what is the end goal? Is it to get away from Crystal Lake entirely, or is it to just escape Jason for the longest? I don't know,
because I have the board game last Friday here, and I have a feeling it works just like that. You just have to survive the night. So it's probably timed games, and whoever survives the night wins.
Okay. Well, I'd be okay with that. And well, one thing I get really excited about games that do challenge you and that I have a clutch factor in. And one reason I do like NetherRealm fighting games is I seem to be better at those fighting games than any other, but some of my favorite things are like survival mode, where you don't have a full health bar by the time your next opponent comes around. So you're in these King of the Hill lobbies against people online. You don't get a full health bar. You have to restore your health by doing super moves, by doing special things. So here you're a camp counselor who has a very limited defensive move set. You can find objects. I've seen where it's really hilarious, actually, when they released how some of the camp counselors can try to defend themselves. There was one guy who picked up, I think it was a pitchfork, and smashed it across Jason's chest, and it just fucking exploded like a grenade and sent him falling to the ground. The very next scene was Jason getting hit by a fucking car, and he just smashes the hood.
I saw that one.
It didn't make any fucking sense. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to be the camp counselor with the fucking super strength, because a car isn't doing anything, but this guy is just wrecking Jason with a pitchfork. So I'm ready to play with the pitchfork counselor, or if it's just like the baseball bat, Super Smash Brothers style, maybe it's just item specific, or maybe it's something Jason did a counter or something when it comes to the car. If he didn't do that, maybe he would have gotten hit and gone flying. I'm really interested to see what the actual mechanics of the game are. Do they have counters? Does Jason have a counter? Are there is it kind of like For Honor where you have a counter and attack system?
It'll be
I'm
interesting
really
to see how it comes
looking
out.
forward
And
to see the mechanics. Yeah,
I'm sure next week we'll probably review that game.
yeah.
Um,
That's going to be awesome. Are you going to get it Friday?
I might buy it Saturday or Sunday. I've got so many things to do this weekend. It's not even funny. But I know
Yeah.
Phil's going to
Well,
want to play it. So yeah.
the bottom line is we'll do it eventually. So
Yeah.
we've got it. We're going to do it.
So talking about challenging games, our next story to go over is this annoying story and rumor and pictures that keep popping up online of Nintendo being stupid and making a Mario Rabbids game.
No, I knew. Okay, no.
This is as bad as making a Mario Minions game, in my opinion. Like,
oh god, don't give them any ideas, please.
but,
Please.
more and more is coming out that this is an actual thing, and I'm like, why? Like, I don't even know kids who can sit through that entire cartoon. The cartoon is horrible. The video games are horrible. Who are you marketing this to?
They're. I mean, they've got Super Mario. What is it? Universe. I don't even know the name of it. The new Mario game coming out.
Oh, I forget. Where his hat's like a cartoon character and he flies around the real world.
Yeah, he's in the real world. I want to say it's Universe or something along those lines. But if I was kind of nervous about seeing him in the real world and it just being Mario GTA. I know that's the fever dream of.
Could
the most
you just
demented,
imagine Mario beating
gamer.
up on Toad hookers? Like,
I mean, seriously, it's the fever dream of every fucked up gamer ever who stuck a Mario skin in GTA on PC. And I know that's not what it's going to turn into. It's not Nintendo's bag, but I hope it's going to do well because I mean. The rest, aside from the real world, seems to be they put him in different other cartoon Mario universes, and the real world is just one of them. That's what I see when I see that. But with the Rabbids, is it just going to be like a Mario Olympics, where it's going to replace Olympics?
I've heard
with
conflicting
now?
things. I've heard that it's going to be RPG game. I've heard it's just an action game. I've heard it's a mini game type game. Like, I don't even know.
If Square Enix is behind it, and it's going to be the new Mario All Stars, and the Rabbids are just party members, like I'm cool. I'm much more open to that. But if Mario Rabbids is just going to turn into another Rabbids mini game or a Mario Winter game, featuring Sonic plus the Rabbids or some shit, I'm not into it. I'm not going for it, man.
Where did the Rabbids even start? I don't even remember anymore.
Well, it was Rayman. They had Rayman Raving Rabbids, and I want to say that Rayman stuck around for another one, and then the Rabbids game just kind of took off on their own. And luckily Rayman got his own start with Origins, and the Rabbids were nowhere to be seen in those games because those were fucking awesome. If you haven't played Origins or Legends, those are fantastic.
I've done Legends. I don't think I've done Origins.
Origins was great. Legends improved it 100-fold, except for the times where the little guy, the little flying toad creature, you have to press B every 2 seconds to simulate Wii controls or whatever. That was the one downfall that I had, and it had a couple of good little moments. Those were too frequent for my taste, but Rayman's doing great. I can't look for, but I'm really hoping for a Rayman announcement, and really hoping that the Rabbids is not true. Like, I hope they fake us out and they're like, "Aha, just kidding. It's a side scroller like Mario, but it's related to Rabbids like Rayman. We fooled you." I hope they play some dumb.
I don't think they're going to go that route. I think this is an actual thing because, and I don't get it because the Switch is making such good progress for Nintendo. And then they're going to go make stupid decisions like this, and I don't want it to turn into another Wii. I don't.
Well, they've been doing great by making IPs that are accessible to, bringing back the IPs that are accessible to the larger audience, like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And the new Mario. Every time they come out with a brand new Mario game, like Galaxies or like 2D Land and the new Super Mario Brothers. Every time they make a Mario-centric game that's either 2D platform or 3D open world, they slay it. They fucking kill it. And this might be a party game. This might be Mario Party featuring Rabbids as a playable character. I don't know. I don't think it's going to hit them as hard as I think they need this kind of game to carry on some fucked up tradition of stealing kids' money. You know, I just.
Well, Nintendo is good at that. I mean, they make a new game handheld system every 6 months, and they make Pokemon games every year or so, and they make multiple versions of them. Then they remake them, and then they remake them again, all in one special version. Yeah, Nintendo's good at taking people's money.
Well, I mean, they've been doing it long enough. They had long enough to fuck up. Like the Wii U was such a goddamn disaster, and I really didn't want it to be. And I don't want Nintendo to fail. Like, I'm not that guy who sits there and is like, "Oh, this sucks. Well, Nintendo should they should go out of business." Like, no, thank you, Nintendo, please stick around and make good shit.
I grew up with Sega. My first Nintendo system was the 64, and then I bought a GameCube, which I absolutely loved the GameCube. And I've only ever owned one Game Boy. It was a Game Boy Advance, and I just stopped caring because I liked PlayStation and Xbox. And then I didn't even bother with the Wii or the Wii U or anything else. And then the Switch was announced. I was like, okay, I'm excited for Nintendo again. And I love it because Breath of the Wild is a system-selling game right there alone. And the new Mario Kart is fun. And so I'm happy to get back into the world of Nintendo. But I'm trepid. I'm not going in full force because I don't want them to fuck it up.
Well, Mario, you know, we know the stuff that they're going to come out with. We know that Mario, we know they're coming out with that. With Zelda, you know, they come out with a new Zelda for everyone. Smash Brothers is coming. We know that. When I first started playing video games, my first system was my dad's Atari. He just pulled it out, hooked it up, was like, "Here, have fun," you know. Yeah. But my cousin was kind enough to give me his Nintendo, his NES. I then had a Sega for Christmas. Had my stepbrother, ended up having a Super Nintendo. So,
boy, you just had everything at your house.
I did. Well, yeah, we did. You know, I moved around a lot, and you know, all that. So we ended up. I just kind of played all my friends' systems, and then had systems donated to me. And the 64 was actually the last Nintendo system I owned, and it has the fondest fucking, you know, memories hanging out with people and playing Smash Brothers and Diddy Kong Racing and Mario Kart and GoldenEye. I mean, that was
GoldenEye was the best game on that system outside of Ocarina of Time. Better. Those two were just like, that was it.
Oh, Ocarina was fantastic too, and of course they had Mortal Kombat Trilogy and MK4, and they advertised it that it was arcade perfect, and oh my god, for once it was, and that was such a big deal, at least for me. Well, back then it was, I guess, but then they switched to the GameCube, and it was around that time that I had a PS2 and an Xbox, and at that point, you're right, that's where I kind of started trailing away. And I haven't had a Nintendo system since. They experimented with the GameCube, came out with some really great games, like the Resident Evil remake.
Pikmin and Wind Waker.
Pikmin, Melee, Smash Brothers.
I mean, it was an amazing little system.
It was. It was a great. You could see them experimenting. I mean, they've always been experimental. They had the Nintendo 64 controller, which was weird. They had the GameCube controller, which was weird but functional. Once you got used to it, it was fine. The Wii U was a smash hit, or the Wii was a smash hit, and I always played that at friends' houses, and that was great. The Wii U totally went under my radar. I don't know what the hell was going on with their marketing team, if it was just flooding the market completely, that it was just drowned out in the Sony Microsoft kind of competition. I really don't know what happened with the Wii U. I don't know what went wrong, aside from that it was just a Wii, and they didn't. I don't know what the fuck was different. Why was I supposed to go and buy that system aside from Bayonetta 2?
Because small kids wanted it.
Small kids wanted it. Is that it?
Yeah,
They wanted they wanted an extra screen for their big screen. Fuck them. That's what a DS is for.
Well, okay. So we're gonna move on to our next fun topic of you're talking about Resident Evil reboots and things like that. They just finished the Resident Evil franchise like this year, and they're already rebooting it.
Well, I think it's a. I
can't help but to laugh. It's like
isn't the I don't think he's directing, but
no, they're going with a completely new direction. New directors, new actors. They're going back to Raccoon City. So I don't know what they're going to do, but it makes me laugh that we're not even like 6 months out from the end of the franchise, and they're doing it again.
They're pulling a Spider-Man, and I will say this because Spider-Man, the Spider-Man 3 came out forever ago. Maybe a couple of years later, boom, they were already rebooting it with Andrew Garfield. Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out, didn't make as much money as they wanted to. Boom, they made a deal with Marvel and were like, okay, fine, we don't know what the fuck to do with Spider-Man. Here you go. And now we have Spider-Man Homecoming, which is looking. I'm a huge Spider fan, so it's looking to be great. So if Resident Evil does this, Paul W.S. Anderson has had his fingers in this fucking series, and I haven't loved it since Apocalypse. I actually really enjoy the first movie and Apocalypse.
Yeah.
The first movie has kind of waned from me, but you could tell he put a lot of fucking effort into that. It wasn't a perfect movie. None of them are. But it was a lot of fun, and it was great at the time. At the time, I had no taste, so it was the best movie ever.
That whole franchise is a love-hate thing for me. Like, I love it, but I don't like all of them, and I think they just went too crazy. But I'm at this point now where I'm like, do people even care about Resident Evil anymore? Like, I think we're almost...
Did you see the last?
No.
I saw the last one because I fucking had to. Like, I was like, okay, well, it's the end, and it came out in 2002, the first one?
Yeah.
And, oh my God, I heard reviewers hated it. I try not to give a shit what most people think. I went in there and I was like, this is a Resident Evil movie. I tend to have some amount of fun with these. I haven't had a lot of fun since the second movie. The rest are kind of, they have their moments. But this last movie was so god-awful, fucking terrible. There is a jump scare in literally every new scene. Shaky cam during action. You can't even follow the action at all. And you meet new people.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going to go watch that.
It's fucking crid. It has its moments. There are a couple of moments, particularly at the end when she fights.
I hear you're being way too
Wesker.
generous with that.
I mean,
I know people who love the franchise said this movie just ruined it.
There's a moment, and I'll go ahead and say spoiler. There's a moment at the very fucking end. You can mute yourself if you want to for this one, but she fights Wesker in the original laser grid room from Resident Evil 1, and she allows herself to be taken advantage of and has her fingers cut off.
Taken advantage of? How?
Well, Wesker forces her into a position where she has her fingers cut off by the laser grid, and once that happens, Wesker thinks he has the upper hand, and while she's, in pain, looking at her hand, going, "Oh my God!" while he's distracted watching her, she uses her other hand to pick the grenade off of him. I guess the pin off of his grenade that's on his side, and it explodes his side abdomen, and it's actually pretty fucking cool. So
in that little hallway, she set off a grenade.
Great.
That makes no sense. Yeah.
But the special effect was cool. The distraction idea was cool. The fact that she sacrificed her body was cool. I mean, it's kind of a metaphor for her as an actor in this fucking series. Anyway,
you can't really call her an actor.
Well, she has been in movies. That
doesn't mean she's an actor.
She played a character that was not her. I mean,
very well.
I'm not saying she was a good one, but I honestly I like Mila Jovovich. I like her quite a bit, but she was not given a good place in this entire series. Her being locked down all these years in this one series, because this has been her series, her and her
Yeah.
fucking husband. It's just been these two keeping this thing alive all this time. And when you see stuff like The Fifth Element, or you see little glimpses of her acting ability in these movies, you have a few tiny moments where you go, well, she's a professional, you know? And it makes me go, God, I wish you would do other shit, woman. Like, you don't have to, because you make enough money off of these somehow. I don't know fucking how, but
Because people go watch them.
people do. They go watch them so they can sit and complain.
Just
and
like
make
we're
fun of
doing, right?
Yes.
Which
Or
I have to apologize because my mic cord has been going all sorts of crazy over here. Like it's loose
fine.
or something. So I just see it going like whoosh, whoosh. I'm like, I don't know what that is. So
I'll just rant until you come back. It's fine.
no, I'm back. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with this. I would really like them to do like they did with Rogue One and do the offshoot stories. Like I would love to see a movie about William Birkin. I would love to see, stories that aren't tied into the main games, just set in that universe. So I think it would be a lot of fun.
Ooh, the Rebecca Chambers movie. I can't wait to see that shit. Yeah, why not? I mean, that was Resident Evil 0 was one of the best games ever. So maybe a spin-off concept was great. I am, if they just took it back to basics, took it back to Raccoon City, have a virus that doesn't infect the very Earth, which I thought was a weird. That's where things took a turn and never went back for me. Is when they said I think it was Extinction. It was after Apocalypse, and Apocalypse left on a high note, and it left on a pretty decent cliffhanger where they managed to save her. And I was very much looking forward to what happens to Alice. What do they do with Alice? And the next thing you see is her narrating at the beginning of Extinction that the virus got out and it infected not only the people but the very Earth itself, and it shows the Earth turning brown. That's dumb. I was like, get me the fuck out of this theater, get me out. And I managed to sit through it, but yeah, that's where it took a turn for the worse. And I think James Wan. Now I know James Wan, I know that name, and it's a good name.
Conjuring.
Why do I know? Oh fuck yeah, that's right. Yeah. I was.
So it could be fun.
Said it, but I was like, I could be stupid. No, The Conjuring is. I love both.
I
of
love
those movies.
Conjuring. I love Conjuring 2.
Better than the first.
I even liked Annabelle, so I'm good.
I didn't see Annabelle. So I'll just take your word that was. Well, he didn't direct, so that was what, serviceable.
It was serviceable. It was pretty good, but the Conjuring movies are just amazing.
Yeah, first and second especially, fantastic movies. If he's at the helm, I'm good. But
I think he is.
If this, this could also be one of those situations where you have Stephen Chow, who is one of my favorite not American directors. He directed and starred in Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah,
and
I just bought The Mermaid on Blu-ray, and it's pretty epic.
I haven't seen The Mermaid, but you have to send that shit to me. But Kung Fu Hustle is one of my favorites. So when I heard he was producing Dragon Ball Evolution, I was like, oh, this movie is going to be badass. Have you seen Kung Fu Hustle? That's like a Dragon Ball movie in itself. This is going to be great. So let's not sit here and say that if it's produced by somebody we like, it'll be good. Fuck you. This is why I'm cynic on Zombie Life. Okay, I don't fucking buy it.
So let's do our review this week. So I haven't done Injustice, but you have. So
I've been on it.
I want you to review Injustice for the non-fighter game, and not really a huge DC fan that I am.
Okay. The first Injustice, I kind of start with the first Injustice made me care about the DC universe again. I actually became interested in the story they were trying to tell. They came out with a comic book series that was actually really good. It went on for 5 years, and it basically told the story of the 5 years that happened prior to the Injustice video game. Game had a great story and took the mechanics of Mortal Kombat, expanded it, so that there's more room in between the characters and that these characters who can fly around have more room to move.
Yeah.
It was a little stiff, a little clunky. This Injustice 2 has improved 100-fold on the stiff, clunky controls of the first one. The movement isn't quite as stiff when you dash. You don't dash so far forward that you run right into your opponent's fucking fists, which just pissed me off to no end in the first one. This game also, if people are Street Fighter fans, but like there's a lot of fighting game purists out there who really like holding back on to block. That's a big thing for people. And personally, I don't give a fuck as long as you can block one way or the other. I'll figure it out. But this game you can block back, so whoop-de-doo.
Which I find it interesting you bring that up because Street Fighter pretty much has set the standard for what people expect out of fighting games. Like, I can somewhat play Street Fighter, but not very well. But I can't play Killer Instinct or Mortal Kombat or any of those other ones because it's not Capcom controls to me. So does this game play like a Capcom game, or does it play more like a Mortal Kombat game?
No, it plays like a Mortal Kombat game with a hold back the block button. There's a couple of different mechanics that are in there, like once you start a combo, you can burn meter in order to bounce them for more damage and then continue a combo. There's a lot of what you would refer to as resource spending meter in order to get damage, and they've added more ways to spend meter in this game. Like if you get popped up for a combo, you can spend meter to bounce out of midair. So if you're in midair getting your ass handed to you, you can spend a bar to get out of it. If you're in the corner and you're just getting hammered, if you time things right, you can spend a bar, get out of the corner. You got to be careful though, because if they predict you doing that, they can hit you back in there, and there's a nice little way to balance it out. But they do give you more options for your characters. Now, for you might have a lot of fun with this. The first Injustice, you had story mode, you had a ladder mode, and that was about it for a single player. Now you have this thing called the multiverse, where you play this little storyline. It's all in text, and you play a little ladder, but it gives you loot. So you get to customize your character. You have the head item, the body, legs, emblems that they have, and there's a pretty decent variety where you can almost create a separate character. And you can even get moves that change other people's moves. It's a really cool thing that they've done to keep people playing and keep people addicted. And in fact, Multiverse, you actually earn more loot and more levels for your character because you have to level up your character or you can't equip certain loot. So, of course, they have that shit in there. And, of course, you can spend real money in order to get more in-game coins, to buy more loot.
Yeah, that's a trend I'm not real happy with.
I'm fine with it because I've already leveled two of my favorite characters, Black Adam and Supergirl. Love these characters. I've already got them to level 20. I haven't earned all the loot for them, but I'm already able to equip everything, and I've got a couple of epic loots for them, which when you play an unranked match makes them really strong. But for all the players that you want to play with, they'll go in there and switch it off anyway, so the loot stats don't matter. It's all balanced. So if you're competitive, the competitive mode is there. The people who want to play competitively are definitely there. But then if you just want to go around and customize your character and see how good your loot is compared to others and how strong it makes your character, because it does affect the defense, the offense, things like that. Mm-hmm. I think that's something a Destiny freak like you could definitely get into.
I like how you referred to me as the Destiny freak.
You are. Fuck you.
I'm not even going to deny it. I'm not. So what would you rate this on a 1 to 10?
Well, we'll give it a 9.
Awesome.
I'm going to give it a 9. Huge improvement over the first one. I would have given the first one an 8.5. They've improved it 100-fold. It feels so much smoother. They've improved the combo system, added a variety of different characters. The loot system doesn't make spending money feel essential. So I don't feel inhibited by not spending money, and I'm badass enough that I don't have to.
Mhm.
So I'm okay with it. I'm gonna say it's a 9, and the reason I'm gonna say it's 9, not a 10. One sore thing that sticks out for me was story mode. Seemed a bit weak. They have full blown cutscenes in between every fight, and it's really well done. Beautiful looking game, by the way. Didn't mention the graphics. It's really important for some people. Graphics are awesome, almost photorealistic. Case closed. Tremendous looking game. But the story mode, they just kind of dropped it because it wasn't as epic as the first one. The first one had some great set pieces, character development that was actually kept you invested in watching the story and wanting to know what happens next. And it was a fantastic story with a great conclusion. And it did kind of keep you guessing on how things will end. You kind of figure, okay, well, it's probably going to end well, and there's going to be a cliffhanger, and there was. But I think this game, it was good, but it was just a little too standard. A story mode, you could kind of predict every little thing that was going to happen, and then you threw characters in there. You're like, wow, why is Dr. Fate here? And he's like, because there is chaos.
Because I can be.
And they're like, well, you beat him. And he's like, okay, well, I'm gone now. Like, okay, well, bye, Dr. Fate. Fuck you.
Well, I have Marvel vs. Capcom Infinity on pre-order, so I'm sure by the end of the year we'll be able to compare both games. Because I went ahead and got the collector's edition with the 4 statues and the Infinity Stone, so I'm good.
I'm very ready for that too. I'm looking forward to it now. Now those games I suck at.
So
Marvel
do
vs. Capcom
I ain't even
3
gonna
was
lie.
bad.
I can get a few moves off, but it's just fun to button mash for me.
Well, I just never. I know there's infinite combos and there's a combo system. I just never bothered learning it. But it's still a whole hell of a lot of fun, especially if you sit around with people who also don't know what they're doing. Best games fucking ever. It's great. So I'm very much
lots of fun, because we have about 10 minutes left. Last week they premiered all this stuff for Destiny 2, and a Destiny whore myself. Lost my shit. Like, it's amazing, but I still have questions about it. Like, why are there only 4 planets? Aren't we going backwards? So there's some things, and it all makes sense why they're getting rid of everything.
Have you not learned DLC?
Yeah, but these planets are also like 8 planets at the size that are sizes. Because they always said the reason the planets were so small was because they had to consider old gen systems. Well, now they don't have to, so they're like 4 or 5 times bigger. And so I think I'll be able to handle that. There's more to do there. So I'm super excited about that. But, I have it pre-ordered. I can't fucking wait. I'm going to take time off of work. I'm going to be playing Destiny at home. And
you're going to be sick. I understand. You're going to have explosive diarrhea or whatever fucking excuse.
Yeah, we're already lined up. We know what we're going to be doing. We're going to be having lots of fun. We're just going to play the shit out of that game. But
you guys are going to make me play that too.
To a question for you. Okay, everyone talks about the console wars happening. I don't think there is a console war anymore. And I think this game is proving it, because you have Microsoft saying, hey, let's let anybody on any system play together. Let's fuck this third-party exclusivity. It causes all these problems. Worry about first-party, but let's just let gamers be gamers. And Destiny and PlayStation are like, no, you get the exclusive stuff with us. They're artificially inducing this console war system, because today there is none. And I like the fact that there isn't really a console war anymore, because no matter what system you're on, you have games that you can pick up on any system for the most part. Do you agree or disagree? Did I lose you? I think your mic totally went out. That's the fun of doing live stuff. Yeah, his mic went out. So, yeah. Is he back? Because I'm just...
Hold up.
Okay, your mic totally went out. I was like, I'm gonna act like Henzar here. Man, I totally agree with you.
Am I fixed?
Your mic.
Testing.
Yeah, you're here.
Okay, there we go.
So yeah.
Okay, so we're good.
Do you think I'm right?
Okay, so I heard most of that.
Okay.
You you started cutting in and out on me, but I heard the gist of it, and we talked a little bit about it while we were, I guess, what we would consider prepping.
Yeah.
The console wars, do they exist? I think to a degree they do, but overall, I mean, but to the degree that it's said that there's a war and it's either this or the next, and there's hatred and there's angst and all this against the other people, and fuck you, I'm Xbox, and fuck you, I'm PS4. I think that died. I think that died as soon as South Park made fun of it.
Like I'm guilty of throwing shade at my brother because I loved PlayStation 1 and 2, and then I got into my Xbox, and I'm a very social gamer. You know this. And Xbox is built for people like me, whereas PlayStation is built for people who like to play mostly by themselves. And I'm not even gonna lie, because everyone that has one, they play mostly by themselves. And the reason this whole Destiny 2 thing makes me mad is they're still doing the exclusivity thing. And it's cutting out all these other people that don't play it. But I'm reading all these articles from these game reviewers who are like, you know what? Fuck it. We're just going to buy a PlayStation 4 because we want the full experience of Destiny. And I think that's, for a third-party game, I'm agreeing with Microsoft's take. Fuck the third-party games. Let them be equal on everybody so we can do cross-platform play and worry about your first-party exclusives being what you really pushed for. But it seems like now PlayStation's like, oh, you guys are going to do that? We're going to do all this shit. And they're dirty with their shit. Like, on Xbox, we still haven't gotten, 10% of the Destiny game that they are locked. That PlayStation's like, no, we want it more. So there's still, a huge part of Destiny 1 we have not played yet.
What?
Yeah, because it was supposed to be for up to a year. So that year when you'd get the DLC, the Xbox would get all the old stuff that was exclusive to PlayStation. Well, they didn't do that for the last DLC. So they're going on 2 years now of exclusive stuff that we've paid for as an Xbox gamer, but we can't play.
Well, I think when it comes to this whole the console war thing, I think the console war, as far as in the public eye, the console war, how we would usually look at it, us against them, and that whole thing, and you have Twitter fights and insults, and the
fact that you have to say in this day and age you have Twitter fights is really sad.
Fuck you. All right, because I don't use Twitter. All right, so I can use whatever the fuck I want to say. All right. My birthday's coming up. I'm very sad. I don't use Twitter. Fuck you. So what I was gonna say is that Sony in particular, I think Nintendo coming out with a Switch, sticking with their old IPs. I think they've kept themselves effectively out of the race, and they have brought back their fan base and are acquiring new fans. So I think they've got their own demographic and they're sticking to it. And I'm thinking that nowadays a lot of people are buying multiple consoles. More often than not, I'm hearing more and more people are buying multiple consoles. And I think the biggest competitors by far who are clashing against each other are Microsoft and Sony. But I would say that Microsoft is making an effort to try and unify a gaming community.
Yeah.
I almost want to say I can feel that the hardware to push these new games to newer heights and levels of graphic levels, and try to find new ideas and things like that. I think that it's becoming harder, and I think that they fear maybe a gaming bubble is going to burst on this AAA gaming, just becoming too expensive to produce, and numbers
that was
are
the other thing they talked about was,
but Sony. Well, what I was going to say, Sony is getting dirty with it. They are doing exclusive deals, like taking games that are traditionally cross-platform, like Street Fighter, took it away from Xbox. I honestly bought a PS4 so I could play Street Fighter V, and they did a deal with Capcom, and it turns out that this is almost you spent $60 on it, came with 10 characters, and then you have to buy the rest as they come out with coins that you earn by fighting online, and you have to fight all goddamn day every day to unlock one at a time. It's really crazy. Like, you have to be playing exclusively Street Fighter these characters. In fact, they were open at one point, and then they locked them behind this virtual paywall. And so you see Sony kind of having, and I want to say that's probably not Capcom. I've seen Capcom do some really, really weird shit, but I'd say it's probably under Sony's direction, because they have been pulling weird stuff. Now, they are coming out with some exclusives that I'm really excited about, like Spider-Man. The new Spider-Man game. Can't wait for it. But they have done things like that. Like they took I knew they had some sort of exclusive Destiny because I keep seeing commercials for it. Whenever I see new content and stuff like that, I would always see it for PlayStation first.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had still locked 10% of the game, though. That much I didn't know.
It's the way that they've worked these deals. And, it's one of those, why not just, like you said, worry about your first-person exclusives, first party, and just let gamers be gamers. And one of the things that really makes me mad is they were playing Destiny 2 on the PS Pro, and people were like, oh, it's not 60 frames a second. PS Pro can't handle that with Destiny 2, but the Scorpio could. But because they don't want to put a better version of Destiny on an Xbox, they lock the game at 30 frames per second no matter what system you're playing on. So it's like they have a potential there to do this, but because of this stupid exclusivity deal, and you know what? I have a 4K TV. I enjoy some of it, but I mean, 60 frames a second, it looks a lot smoother. But I'm running around in a video game. I'm not going to be noticing all that, and people are real picky about that stuff.
That's
but
real.
This is just
that's
another
really
sign
for
that
people too.
Yeah,
people who are going to play on computer monitors to get the extra frames, and they want it to be 60 frames per second so they can get the most out of those extra frames. And it's
which is it's coming to the PC as well. So that's a whole other ball game right there. And I'm just thinking that I think Sony wants the console wars to continue. But we're at a point now where it's really a moot point, because back then, when it was Nintendo and Sega, it was two vastly different systems with two vastly different lineup of games. You didn't have the cross-platform games there. But now, all these AAA games are on every damn system. They're on mobile phones. Yeah. So, I mean, what are you supposed to do?
I think you had your cross-platform games, and well, I mean, even back then, like prime example, I'll throw Mortal Kombat in there because I have to at any point in time that I could. Well, I mean, Sega, you had Sonic, and you had Mario, and Sonic the Hedgehog 1 through Sonic and Knuckles were some of my favorite games on Sega ever. And on Super Nintendo, you had Super Mario All-Stars. You brought all the Mario games in, plus you gave them a graphical upgrade, plus Super Mario World is absolutely one of my favorite games of all time. But then you had stuff like Nintendo. And this was less malicious, so I'm going to give this almost a pass. When you had the very first version of Mortal Kombat 1 come out, and it came out on Sega and one came out on Nintendo, by default, both of them had no blood. And when it came to the fatalities, they were all bloodless, completely.
I don't know how you could handle that.
Well, of course, the Super Nintendo version was there was no way around it. Sega, though inferior and sound-wise also, you could input the blood code and you could have blood, and they even changed the fatalities to like more brutal fatalities. Like originally, Sub-Zero would uppercut and freeze you in those versions. Put in the blood code, he rips out your spine. It was great, and that helped boost the sales of the version for Sega tenfold. Now, this wasn't because this wasn't because Sega went out of their way to make some deal to take content away from Super Nintendo players. Nintendo was very
strict about what you could and couldn't do.
Yeah, their product, exactly. They were very protective of their kid-friendly product, and they really didn't want that level of violence in their product. Of course, they saw the sales on the Sega Genesis, and Mortal Kombat 2 came out, and there was a fucking bloodbath. So I think they did back then. They did do things like that for different reasons. And that's one of the more famous examples. But now you do have things that are actually actively trying to take things out of gamers' hands, and that is it's total horseshit.
It is.
Yeah.
And so with that, we're out of time for this episode. I thought this was a whole lot of fun. Like, I didn't know what to expect, but Man, I love talking video games with you. It's great.
Yeah, it's great with you too. I feel like I stammered and stumbled around enough, but
well, you know me.
I
I can host anything. You can put me in front of anything, I can host it. Like, I just have that personality. So, next week, I think we're going to definitely be trying to review the Friday the 13th game. And Xbox launched their Game Pass today, so I'll be playing with it all next week. I'm going to let you know what I think about the Xbox Game Pass system. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And like I said,
I just heard about that today. It was released today?
Yeah, it was released today, so I'm going to put it through space and see what happens. So, until next time, I'm Slayton. You can find me on Xbox Live, and you are?
I am Henzar. You can find me on Xbox Live, Henzar space 3366 or PSN, just Henzar, Henzzar.
All right, so you guys can catch us next Wednesday at 11 o'clock Central. We'll see you guys then. Say bye.
Bye, guys. Take it easy.